Hello everyone and welcome to IELTS Time. I'm Archer and today we're diving into a really common topic for part one of the speaking test, hobbies. It might seem simple, but it's a fantastic opportunity to show the examiner your natural speaking ability and range of vocabulary. To get us started, we're going to listen to a short dialogue featuring Joseph answering some typical part one questions about his hobbies. Pay attention to how he structures his answers, the vocabulary he uses, and how naturally he speaks. After we listen in, we'll explore some general strategies and different ways you can approach this topic, no matter what your interests are. So, let's tune in to Joseph now.
Do you have any hobbies?
Oh, yeah, I definitely have a few hobbies that keep me busy. For one, I'm really into photography. I love capturing interesting scenes and trying to see things from a different angle. I'm also learning to play the guitar, which is challenging but really rewarding when you finally get a song right. Plus, I'm a big fan of trying out new foods and exploring different restaurants and cafes. So, taking photos, strumming some chords, and discovering tasty eats are my go-to things.
Did you have any hobbies when you were a child?
Totally. When I was a kid, I was really into collecting things. For a while, it was all about trading cards, you know, the ones with different characters and stats. I also went through a phase where I collected colorful erasers in all sorts of weird shapes. And like pretty much every kid, I was obsessed with building things with Legos. I could spend hours creating all sorts of imaginary worlds. Those were simpler times for sure.
Do you have a hobby that you've had since childhood?
That's a good question. Thinking about it, I'd say my love for drawing has definitely stuck with me since I was a kid. Back then, it was mostly just doodles of cartoons and animals, and honestly, they probably weren't very good, but I always found it really relaxing to just sit down with some paper and pencils and let my imagination wander. Even now, though I don't do it as often with school and everything, I still enjoy sketching or even just doodling in my notebook when I have some free time. It's like a little piece of my childhood that I've carried with me.
Do you have the same hobbies as your family members?
That's interesting to think about. I wouldn't say we have exactly the same hobbies, but there's definitely some overlap. For example, my dad is really into hiking, and while I don't go as often as he does, I do enjoy a good hike in nature every now and then. My younger sister is super creative and loves to paint, and I've definitely picked up some of that interest, although my artistic focus is more on photography these days, so it's not identical, but we definitely share a general appreciation for being outdoors and doing creative things. It's cool how those interests can kind of run in the family, even if they manifest in slightly different ways.
Welcome back. Today we're focusing intensely on the topic of hobbies in part one, specifically looking at 4 common questions and how you, our listeners, might craft your responses. Remember, the goal is to be clear, natural, and to showcase your English language skills. The first question you might hear is, do you have any hobbies? Now, a straightforward answer is perfectly acceptable, but you can elevate it by adding a little detail. For instance, you could say, yes, I do. I'm really into playing the piano. I find it incredibly relaxing and a great way to express myself creatively. Or, if you have multiple interests, you could say, yes, I have a couple. I enjoy both hiking in the nearby mountains. It's so refreshing. And I also spend time reading fiction. I find both activities really help me unwind. The key is to name your hobby and perhaps give a brief reason why you enjoy it. The next question delves into your past. Did you have any hobbies when you were a child? Think back to what you enjoyed as a kid. You might respond with something like, definitely. When I was younger, I was fascinated by building model airplanes. I would spend hours carefully putting all the pieces together. It taught me a lot about patience and attention to detail. Alternatively, you could say, yes, I remember being really keen on collecting colourful stones. I had a whole box of them, each with a story of where I found it. It seems a bit simple now, but I was very passionate about it back then. The examiner is interested in your ability to talk about past experiences. The third question connects your past and present. Do you have a hobby that you've had since childhood? This requires a bit of reflection. If you do have such a hobby, highlight that continuity. You could say, yes, actually, I've been drawing ever since I was a little kid. It started as just simple doodles, but it's evolved over the years, and now it's still a really important creative outlet for me. Or perhaps, well, I've been a keen swimmer since I was very young. My parents encouraged me to learn, and it's something I've continued to enjoy throughout my life. It's great exercise, and I find it really calming. If you don't have a hobby from childhood, it's perfectly fine to say so and perhaps mention when you picked up your current interests. For example, not really. My hobbies now, like photography, are things I discovered in my teenage years. Finally, we have the question about shared interests. Do you have the same hobbies as your family members? Be honest here. You might say, that's interesting. My father is a big fan of fishing, and while I've tried it a few times, it's not really my main hobby. However, my sister and I both enjoy watching movies, so we often do that together. Or you might have more alignment. Yes, actually. My whole family is really into hiking. We try to go on a hike together at least once a month. It's a great way for us to spend quality time outdoors. Conversely, you might say, not particularly. My hobbies tend to be quite different from the rest of my family. I'm more into solitary activities like reading and playing video games, while they are more into social sports. The key is to explain the similarities or differences in a clear and natural way. All right, everyone, that's our time for today's episode on hobbies. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next episode.
This episode is enhanced by artificial intelligence.